With a face like Sam Heughan, not to mention his kind-hearted soul, it's really no wonder that the actor has stolen the hearts of many Outlander fans.
Thought I'd be able to see such a thing again,
But as put together as the actor seems to be, no one can go through their lives without having an embarrassing moment or two. Especially when you're an actor. From a failed New York accent to his pandemic holiday controversy, here are Sam Heughan's most embarrassing moments. Before Heughan was cast to portray the magnanimous Jamie Fraser in Outlander, the brave and dashing actor actually did a lot of theater before he finally found his way into absolute stardom thanks to Outlander. And before Heughan officially became a household name literally all over the world, Heughan didn't just have your average acting gigs. No. Heughan was actually really active in theater as well. And he somehow got a part in a play in Brazil, which, truth be told, is already a curious tale. So many questions! Like, how does one even end up in a play in Brazil? But it doesn't end there. For the play, Heughan had to dress up as the one and only Batman, and perform before a live audience to boot. But wait, that's not even the most embarrassing part. Our handsome Scott farted right in the middle of the play. Well, he did say that it was a wee fart, but a fart nonetheless. Being the professional that Heughan is, though, he just pretended like nothing had happened in front of his fellow cast members and the entire audience. But given the fact that they were all in an enclosed space, there's no doubt that everyone smelled that something was up. And given the fact that Heughan has now publicly admitted it, everyone knows that it was indeed him. But being an actor and often being in the public's eye, he's just bound to have a slip every once in a while. But with a charming Scottish accent as Heughan has, I'm sure that he can get away with a lot of it by just saying something amiable. I mean, isn't that one of the most attractive things about Outlander? The charming Scottish accent? So, when you hear someone like Heughan give a go at a different accent, things can get a little awkward. In fact, it can be downright strange to hear him try out an accent. But it couldn't have been more embarrassing for us than it was for the actor when he decided to showcase his New York accent during an interview. Heughan thought he was playing it safe by repeating some lines from The Godfather. But at some point, he looked straight into the camera, and you could just see it written all over his face. He had just made a huge mistake, and there was no way to take it back once it was out. Yes, Heughan had made a bit of a fool of himself on TV. Luckily, Heughan was way too easy to love, and his attempt at a New York accent was more endearing than anything. So we don't really have a choice but to forgive him for his follies. Even if his New York accent really was terrible. But maybe if he gave it just a little bit more practice, nah. I think Heughan has the perfect accent already. No need to try and add more to it. But when it comes to embarrassing moments, most of them will probably happen during interviews for actors. At least, Heughan has had quite a few awkward moments while under the pressure of answering odd questions. Now, of course we all say that we watch Outlander for its authentic plot, reasonable historical accuracy, and unique themes. But come on, who are we kidding? It's the spicy scenes that really have our interest. And getting to see Heughan in those raunchy scenes makes all the heartbreak of the times absolutely worth it. But when the actor was asked about the logistics behind those scenes, Heughan couldn't help but squirm very uncomfortably. It wasn't just awkward because of the question on its own, though. It was more the fact that his co-star, Katrina Balfe, was sitting right next to him during the interview. So, when he was asked about the making of these very passionate scenes, Heughan lost all ability to make eye contact with anyone in the studio, including his co-star. To avoid making the situation any worse for himself, the actor decided to pass the question on to Balfe, who picked it up as elegant as only Balfe can. Even though it was her very presence that made Heughan uncomfortable in the first place, he must have been glad that she was there to help him out as well. He just was at a complete loss as to how to approach such an intimate question with his co-star sitting right next to him. Who would have thought that our brave Jamie Fraser is actually really shy in real life? Maybe that has something to do with his mother. Heughan and his mother clearly have a loving bond with each other, which is why she decided to be there to support him during one of his plays in the days before Heughan was a true celebrity. But this evening in particular didn't just leave Heughan feeling really embarrassed. There's a very big chance that it left him scarred for life as well. See, his mother had come to see her son perform at a play that held a scene that neither of them could have ever prepared for. I'll paint you a picture. Imagine that Heughan's mother is sitting in the front row in the theater, proud to see her son perform on stage in front of an actual audience, living his dream. And then Heughan has to put himself in a bit of a compromising position, so to say. And he was wearing his birthday suit because he had to do it in front of a live audience, plus his mother. Nope, I do not envy Heughan in this experience. In fact, I don't think that even actors will ever truly be prepared for their parents to see them in a position like that. Whether it's all an act or not, that must have been horrible. Obviously, both Heughan and his mother needed a moment to recover from the experience. But Heughan wouldn't be where he is today if he wasn't the professional gentleman that he is. And they're all good now. After all, it was only mildly traumatizing to do the deed in front of his mother, right? But not all the embarrassing moments that an actor stumbles upon have to do with their job, or even awkward moments during interviews. Because once you're famous, your entire life is always being scrutinized. And Heughan had found himself stuck in Hawaii during the pandemic. This left his fans and foes in a bit of a frenzy, because the travel ban went into effect right before the actor could make his way home. Yes, that meant that Heughan was stuck in Hawaii while the rest of the world was stuck in lockdown in their own boring homes. What a bummer. For us, that is. But it wouldn't have been half a problem if the actor had just refrained from sharing his terrible time in Hawaii. He was just a little bit too out there on his Instagram, and it clearly stirred people up a bit. It really wasn't an ideal situation to be in. Though I'm pretty sure that his surroundings more than made up for the fact that the internet wasn't amused at his hardships. It was just a bit of a controversy. But again, with an accent like Heughan's, he was quickly forgiven. So, from a failed New York accent to his pandemic holiday controversy, these were Sam Heughan's most embarrassing moments.